Last time we took the Jaguar up the Gauntlet, which means today we're going to take the
Lexus LS460.
So we're here up in Summit County, Colorado, where we're taking these two luxury cars that are
not German
and all-wheel drive and matching them up against each other in our winter luxury matchup. Coming up next
on the Fast Lane Car. I don't have a problem with Lexus in general, but there is an issue, and that's this, the grille. This car is beautiful looking, but because of this grille and the way they've designed it, it looks like all the other Lexus. So you kind of lose the fact that this is one of the most expensive ones built. The rest of the vehicle is pretty much like the old LS, and the rear of it, well, it's good looking, but it's not slap-worthy. Altogether, it's a chiseled design that gives it a little bit more muscular, masculine feel, which is great. But once again, this looks too much like the other ones. Okay, here we go.
0 to 60 up the Gauntlet in the LS, Nathan. Oh, you can feel the lack of air density.
Around 5,000 RPM, it starts to sound really good. It's a really good sounding engine.
Oh, that was very close to the Jaguar. Check it out.
10.4. What was the Jaguar?
I think it was like 10.7. So they were
wow,
a gnat's eyelash between them.
And that's the interesting part about the Jaguar, at least, the fact that you have a supercharged V6 that puts out less power, but once you get to high altitude, piece of cake, you get to keep that power for the most part.
You better do the speed limit. Yeah, you better slow down a little bit. We got a little quick there. And
I think that's one of the really cool things.
Wait for Kyle to pass us.
Oh yeah, too.
We need a camera car.
Sorry, Kyle.
You are slamming it, man. There you go. Just stay right behind him. Cool. Oh, now he's coming to be.
I got it.
Oh, you were saying, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's all right. This is a car that doesn't tell you that you're moving really, really fast, right? If you were driving the GS and doing the same thing, it'd be, oh, okay, I'm really hauling ass. If you were driving, the new CT200H, which now has the same grille as this thing, you would know, okay, I'm going really fast, even though that one doesn't go very fast.
Right.
Somewhere deep in this plastic recess is a very nice V8. This particular one puts out 360 horsepower and 347 pound-feet of torque. It is hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it can dole out power to all four wheels. It's rear bias, a lot like that beautiful pussy cat. And I happen to find that this particular system is intuitive for anybody who goes into the ice or dirt.
Hey Nathan, are you calling my Jaguar a pussycat?
Yes, it's a fine pussy cat.
It is a fine Jaguar. This one, it's effortless.
It's effortless, and the V8 is wonderful, and power is there on tap. Although there's a couple things that I can tell you about that have really ticked me off, and I didn't think they would until just about now.
Okay.
One is that it hunts around for gears when you're going uphill. It jumps around and is trying to find the optimum balance between having enough RPM and at the same time not overdoing it, so you don't lose, any economy issues. At least I have a feeling that once we get to the top of the hill, it's going to have a pretty good
it just hunted for a gear right there. You can tell.
It's bouncing around.
It's bouncing around a little bit, yeah.
And the other thing, these are the grabbiest brakes I've ever had in a luxury sedan. They are a little too grabby for me. The minute you touch them, it just jerks you forward, and you have to have such a gentle foot in order to modulate the brakes. Now, that's not necessarily so bad for some people, but when you come out of one car like the Jaguar and then you sit in this car, suddenly it feels like you're stabbing the brakes super hard every single time.
Yeah, you want kind of that relaxed, easy...
A little bit of mush, just a little bit, so you can modulate it and push it down and you're stopping more and more. Where this one, boom, it really does kind of get you going. Now, on the other hand, of course, once you get used to it, it's wonderful, and then you couldn't think of how other people would possibly survive with mushy brakes.
Fair enough. Now, the Gauntlet, Nathan, is starting about 9,000, going up to about 11, give or take.
Almost 12.
Almost 12. And what we're doing is we're basically testing a car's transmission, in this case, the 8-speed. And you just pointed out that it does actually...
Just did it again.
Yeah, hunt and peck. And this car is at a disadvantage. The Jaguar is supercharged, forced induction, so when you have less air density, about 30% at the top, that's a 30% less horsepower. It does tax the car, and it does kind of show you the nature of the car at its heart.
You know, the Jaguar is pretty much aluminum, and a very light car for its size.
It is, yeah. For as huge as it is, it's very light indeed.
This car feels heavy. It may not be, but it feels like it's got a lot more weight to it. And some people like that. I actually like that on, you know, cruising. And here's one thing. Now, when it's not hunting for gears, écoutez. How's the sound?
Very quiet.
And once we get to the tunnel, I'm willing to bet that this is a quieter car inside than the Jaguar.
Yeah, I think just from the seat of the pants, or the seat of the ear, I guess, you're exactly right about that. My issue with this car when we reviewed it was that it wasn't very, how should I say, engaging. It wasn't very thrilling in some ways. You know, the Germans seem to have that ability to create a car that's almost alive. And this car felt like it was just, you know, maybe arm's length away from all the controls. I never felt like I was completely engaged, completely part of the vehicle. It felt like they mistook luxury for isolation. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, it does. Come on. It makes
a little sense. It's always been, in my mind, it's always been easier to build a sports car that you add luxury to than having a luxury car that you add sport to.
Fair enough.
This car they added sport to, especially if the F Sport model, okay, the firmed up the suspension, bigger wheels, and a lot of other things that make it feel like it's a much faster, somewhat superior car, I suppose. In this particular case, with this model, it feels like there's a luxury car here, and they've added a little tiny bit of sport to it, and you know what? It's enough to please regular guys who want a regular upper-end luxury car. The smartest guys I know, the most affluent people I know, choose cars like this over the German cars.
You know, Nathan, this Lexus has to have, outside of a Tesla, one of the largest screens I've seen in any new car.
It's really a double screen, because what they'll do is they'll cut the image in half, and you do one, you know, you can't get one big image on the screen. It's always two.
Yeah, I like the interior of this. It's very modern. It's very clean. I think Lexus has gotten away from that Tokyo chic and has made it a little bit more traditional.
It really is a beautiful interior. I still prefer the Jaguar over this, but I gotta tell you, I especially love the center components here and that dark wood that they're using. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I like this better. It's ironic, isn't it?
No, it's not ironic. It's just, you're old.
No, I think I just like something that's modern and hip versus old and staid and stodgy.
It's not stodgy. It's not staid either. It's British. You're not feeling your inner Brit. Your teeth are too good.
There's no doubt that this car will be dead reliable. I have no doubt about that.
Built in.
This car will last forever.
Yep.
And this car will, in a lot of ways now, make your neighbors jealous. Because Lexus represents the kind of luxury that makes people jealous today.
It certainly does, but at the same time, it doesn't throw it in your face. Even with the new grille, you know. And here's something that I really enjoyed. Okay, look, I was able to almost completely deactivate traction control and fly through that, you know, lot with the snow flying, and it was awesome. Now, the minute I put it into snow mode, just 2 clicks over, everything changed, and this car didn't slip once. It just didn't care about the snow being there. It just wanted to make sure that every wheel was spinning at the right speed and that I got out of that parking lot without any issues. So it really does have the ability to let it loose and to clamp down and make a very, very safe, secure vehicle. And I appreciate that. If I were an old man and if I had, you know, something that I needed to just run me around luxuriously, this would be that car. With that said, you're absolutely right. It doesn't have that passion. It doesn't have that brio.
And there's 2 ways actually to get passion, right? You can get passion by, one, building a car that is passion inspiring. But what I mean by that is there's something about it that's unique, right? When we write a headline, the hardest cars to review are cars that don't have anything particularly cool or interesting about them, right? And this is a car that does everything well.
Yes.
But what's the headline? 8-speed transmission? The Jaguar's got it, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's hard to write a headline. A Tesla's easy to write a headline for because all electric car, luxurious, right? That's
Absolutely.
easy. And that's what I'm talking about. The other way you can make a car actually, like in some ways luxurious, is to have tradition and to have a long line of cars that have inspired the car, and that's what the Jaguar has, right? That car comes.
Oh, it's got the cachet. I hate using that term, but it's absolutely got it. It's got a family lineage that goes back.
It's got the
decades.
provenance, right?
Yes, it does. This doesn't, but at the same time, you look at this. If this parked in any parking lot in the world, be it somewhere in Monaco, be it somewhere in Las Vegas, be it in Beverly Hills, wherever it may be, it would never be out of place, ever. Whereas if you were in certain types of luxury cars like the Jaguar, there are a few places where if you see it, you're going, I'm not too sure if that should be here.
You know, Nathan, these cars aren't really about donuts, but we do have some fresh snow. You want to try an all-wheel drive burnout? See who does a better one?
Well, yeah, I mean, if we put them through a corner, right, and really punch it, it's interesting to see if the front wheels really pick up and start digging in.
All right, traction control off. You go first.
Traction control off?
Yeah. All right, that was pretty damn good, dude. All right, get this thing out of the way. I'm gonna try it with the Jaguar.
Okay. You know what I mean? This can fit in anywhere.
All right, what's the MPG going up?
10.2.
It's thirstier, man. Jaguar was, I believe, 11.8.
All right. I won't even argue that. I think you're right. And but how does that sound?
It's quiet.
It's very quiet, man.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Leave it to Lexus. And that's the thing is, though. I mean, it sucked that it had to keep choosing gears and jumping up and down and up and down and up and down. That was something the Jaguar did not have to do.
Yeah. I think Jaguars come a long way in their powertrains, and it really does show.
What they need is 10 good years of reliability to really get people on the same page. Because until that happens, this is the car people who want the real reliable vehicle are going to buy.
Yeah, and people might question us on the reliability issue because obviously Jaguar has checkered past when it comes to reliability. But, you know, we don't get the cars for a long time. We're asking them, Jaguar, send us a car, we'll do a reliability test, but you can't test reliability in the week that we have the car.
Yeah, sometimes
so we don't go there.
You're absolutely right. And, hey, even if we get it for 2 weeks, that's not enough time.
No.
The bottom line is that when you're talking about full-blown reliability, we can only go off what all people written out there, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the same stuff, you know. So we're not adding anything into the
exactly.
conversation.
We're not adding our own take on it. We're not adding. Sorry.
Yeah, and let's face it. In terms of reliability, this will probably have it. In terms of even long-term depreciation,
oh yeah,
this will maintain its value a lot longer because of the reliability. But unless we can actually spend a year with the car, we don't want to go there.
The bottom line kind of falls down to this, though, Roman. This is a wonderful car. You have to acknowledge that. But at the same time, would you buy it?
I would buy the Jaguar because it's passionate.
Exactly. We're car guys. We love cars that are engaging and fun and have so much to offer and have, my most important thing, personality.
Yeah, and that thing just oozes personality.
This has got a little bit of personality, but it's really surface. It's uncritical.
And you know what? It's actually more comfortable. This car.
This one?
No, the Jaguar's more comfortable.
Oh, the Jaguar's got a much better ride. This is an excellent ride.
Yeah.
See, the brakes once again. I just touched them and just like.
The Jag is more comfortable, dude. I feel like I'm in a saloon, whereas I feel like I'm in a kind of a sedan in this car. Yeah. And of course, there's a long wheelbase version of this.
There is a long wheelbase version of this.
It's not quite apples to apples. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Once again, though, it all falls back to what the cars emote. And we always talk about seat of the pants because Roman and I believe that one of the things that makes us different is the fact that we do talk about seat of the pants. We do talk about vehicles.
Yeah, real world.
Yeah. And you know what? Even in the real world, that Jaguar is just phenomenal. Not very good. Sorry, dude.
I know.
It's okay. You know, the traction control doesn't fully shut off on your car, I
Shut
suppose.
off, man. It won't let me completely disengage it. I can't get those wheels to spin.
Oh, they were spinning.
Were they really?
Oh, yeah. You looked great. You
Yeah.
looked like Douglas Fairbanks on the side of a ship. You were totally doing great.
No, you did much better. All right, you won that one, my man. I could not get that thing to break loose in any serious manner.
Maybe the V8 would be better.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Nathan, in my mind, there's not a lot of difference between both of these cars. I mean, they're both luxurious, they're both all-wheel drive, they're both powerful. But if it were my money, like I said in the last video, I would still go for the Jaguar with the supercharged V8. Short wheelbase. That's a perfect car. This is just a little too long to live with on a daily basis, as long as you're the one driving it. How about you?
The Jaguar, all day and all night. But I have to say, I still absolutely love the LS. And if this were the F Sport with the better wheels, I might be swayed to buy it.
Yeah, so I think we have another matchup, right?
Yeah.
F Sport versus short wheelbase XJ. As always, this is Roman.
And Nathan.
Saying thanks for watching. And remember, subscribe for a new car video every day. See you next time. Ciao.